Tyler Chronister, the offensive coordinator for the Jenks Trojans, have them 48 points per game. He has a bag of tricks. Will it be tricks and maybe some treats tonight with touchdowns? We'll find out next as we get set for the Trojans in Enid on Trojan TV. And welcome to D. Bruce Selby Stadium. Don King, along with Dr. Eric Fox, assistant principal for Jenks. Rob Labor, director of communications on the sidelines. And there you see the ranking for the Trojans and their overall records. District record as well. And second, the Trojans have clinched second place, Eric, in the district standings. Enid, on the other hand, it's been a tough year.
It's been a very tough year. It's been a few tough years for the Plainsmen, but this is definitely one that has been challenging, and kudos to the guys that are still on the field and working in practice and showing up for games, and the coaching staff still trying to pour into them, and even the fans that are in the stand here tonight. But the Trojans should have an opportunity to take care of business. Things don't get too scary this Halloween night.
Well, we did not dress up in costumes tonight, so unfortunately we're not on TV, so that's good tonight.
Well, people always ask me if I'm wearing a mask, so it fits in pretty well tonight.
You remember the days when Carter, Grant, and Kennedy were dressed up?
Yes, I do. And more importantly, when they would go to bed, they pay the Halloween parent candy tax.
Yes, you go.
I know Rob Labor has some kids out getting some goodies tonight.
We'll check on Rob's kids and what they're wearing tonight. Well, back to the Trojans. They have won 4 in a row after losing to Bixby in the district opener, and so this Jenks Trojan team, as I mentioned at the top, is rolling with Tyler Chronister and 48 points per game. They need 40 points to move in the top 10 all-time for Jenks points in the regular season.
And so much to be said about that. We've mentioned it before throughout the season, but I don't think we can overstate it. This senior class has had 3 different offensive coordinators in their tenure, and to be able to pick up the offensive system and do what Coach Chronister is wanting done and execute at such a high level of proficiency. Of course, there's a guy that really helps that thing click. His name is KD Jones. But it's not just him, because he can't block for himself. He can't throw to himself. So it's really amazing what Coach Chronister and the staff that he's put together, because not very many returning faces on the coaching staff for the Trojans this year either.
Right. Doug Greenwood really is the only veteran on that offensive staff from the offensive line. Willie Ponder, as wide receiver coach, just in his second year. Let's do the weather. And football is certainly on the air, and fall is in the air. Man, it is nice to have this type of weather. 55 degrees, cloudy, the wind, really no wind, 5 miles per hour. When have we ever been to Enid and it wasn't blowing at 15 to 20 miles per hour? We're 2 hours northwest of Tulsa for those that are geographically challenged, not sure where Enid is. And the weather brought to you by the Lodge Eatery and Pub, part of the 10 District in downtown Jenks. When we return, Rob Labor joins us from the sidelines and has his player to bank on, as well as Eric, and we'll have our starting lineups in the kickoff next between Jenks and Enid on Trojan TV.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. From the first bite to the last bite, that bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, you have those 3 things together, and it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Come with us to the new Meteora location on 61st and Yale. If you haven't been to Meteora before, you are missing out. From the large portions to the great prices, this is really one of the best places to eat in Tulsa. Not to mention the incredible service you receive from each team member. So get to Meteor on 61st and Yale as soon as you can, and don't forget to try the churros.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
Make every occasion unforgettable with Waldo's Chicken and Beer. From corporate lunches to special events, enjoy our irresistible dishes, including breakfast. Waldo's full-service catering has you covered. We'll handle the food so you can focus on what matters. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, catering made easy.
You're on.
Let's start with the defensive starters, and of course the starters and the offensive starters as well for the 7-1 second-ranked Jenks Trojans.
Defensive starters tonight for your Jenks Trojans are presented by U.S. Army. Starting at defensive end, number 48, Orlando Williams. At the other defensive end, number 90, Rhett Pangburn. On the inside, number 8, Luke McAnally. At outside linebacker, number 23, Cade Klein. Also at outside linebacker, number 33, Carson Odom. At inside linebacker, number 30, Pierce Brand. The final linebacker, number 12, Clark Carricker. At free safety, number 5, Caleb Dillard. At strong safety, number 4, Nashua Charleston. At cornerback, number 0, Malachi Dillard. At the other corner, number 6, Zion Castleberry. Kicking tonight for the Trojans, number 25, Owen Mahan. And the long snapper, number 59, Sam McCown. The offensive starters tonight for your Jenks Trojans are presented by Batteries and Bulbs. Starting at left tackle, number 79, Adafe Aruru. At left guard, number 69, Riley Kester. At center, number 60, Landon Webb. At right guard, number 50, Malik Craig. At right tackle, number 66, Jamison Mobley. At tight end, number 9, Braxton Daniel. At wide receiver, number 0, Malachi Dillard. Also a wide receiver, number 28, Jalen Cato. The final wide receiver, number 5, Caleb Dillard. At running back, number 2, Katie Jones. And at quarterback, number 7, Landon Kazar.
And thanks to U.S. Army and Batteries Bulbs Plus for their sponsorship of the starting lineups. Let's go down to our third member of the crew, the Director of Communications for Jenks Public Schools, better known as former Fox 23 anchor and sideline reporter Rob Labor. Happy Halloween to you, sir.
Thanks very much, Don. Happy Halloween to you guys as well. Beautiful night for ball here in Enid. Glad to be with you as always. Going to get to our player to bank on tonight, Don King, and I am looking at number 60, Landon Webb, the junior center, kind of the anchor point for that offensive line, the unit that they affectionately call the Trojan Grunts. And those boys up front have been doing plenty of grunt work this season, just mauling people, paving the way for Katie Jones to the tune of 241 rush yards per game. And I think maybe most notably, guys, when you talk about the center position, I can't remember a single botched snap all season long between Landon Webb and Kazar. Just clean exchanges all season long. You really couldn't ask for much more from the center position than what Landon Webb has given you thus far this season. An important position on the field, one that I feel deserves more recognition, guys.
Well, he has certainly done a nice job, and really that was the question, Rob, coming into the season. Was it center, wasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, we had some experience there in the past, and Landon has done a fine job. Of course, we may be giving him the announcer's curse, right? But Landon's done a great job. My player to bank on tonight, we're going to stick with being up front. I'm going to go with tight end Braxton Daniel, number 9. Not only does he have some big catches and big yards, and averaging 42.4 yards per catch there with 4 touchdowns, but I really think it complements what Rob was saying there with 241 rushing yards per game. Defenses are trying to take away that run, and so we're setting up the play action pass, and Braxton does a nice job not only of catching catching the ball, but he has done an amazing job, tremendous job of pulling away from safeties, pulling away from secondary players. His speed is very deceptive. Of course, he's a great athlete, plays basketball as well. But he's a guy that, because the run game has been so effective with Landon and the rest of the guys up front, Braxton has had some really big time plays at tight end. He's going to catch my eye tonight.
All right, Braxton Daniel, number 9, Landon Webb, number 50, the center, are players to bank on. This is the 17th meeting between these two schools, and Jenks leads the overall series 13-3. Enid won the very first 3 meetings between these two schools. You got to go back to the 90s to find those games, and then Jenks obviously has won the last 13. These two schools met, by the way, in 2006 for the state championship. I'm sure you remember that one well.
Yeah, big game, and something that the Trojans were able to take care of, but that seems a long time ago for this current Enid fan base.
Yeah. No question. 0-8 on the season. They've been outscored 506-36. More on that as we continue, and the coin flip and the starting lineup about to happen, the kickoff about to happen. So we'll have the Westlake Ace Hardware kickoff when we return here in a moment on Trojan TV.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. From the first bite to the last bite, that bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, you have those 3 things together, and it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Real guest paid for their testimonial.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
When you've got to spend some time away, there's no better place for your best friend to stay than Woodland West Pet Resort. With 17,000 square feet of fun, you can both take a no-guilt vacation. Relax, both of you. Pick up a new skill. Chow down on some well-deserved vacation food. Make new friends. Have a spa day. And finally, come home to your best friend. Woodland West Pet Resort. Sit, stay, and play. Located next to Woodland West Animal Hospital off Highway 75 in the Jenks exit.
At Our Best Bank, we believe financial confidence should be within reach for everyone. That's why we're here to help you plan and achieve your goals at every step. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank, we believe.
Make every occasion unforgettable with Waldo's Chicken and Beer. From corporate lunches to special events, enjoy our irresistible dishes, including breakfast. Waldo's full-service catering has you covered. We'll handle the food so you can focus on what matters. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, catering made easy.
Come with us to the new Meteora location on 61st and Yale. If you haven't been to Meteora before, you are missing out. From the large portions to the great prices, this is really one of the best places to eat in Tulsa. Not to mention the incredible service you receive from each team member. So get to Meteora on 61st and Yale as soon as you can, and don't forget to try the churros.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Back to action, and we're awaiting the arrival of both teams. The coin flip has been made. Enid will take the football. They won the toss, and they elected to receive the football. As you take a look at the Jenks tunnel, there are some fathers that put the tunnel up, and the moms are always there to decorate the locker room on Fridays. The Jenks Football Booster Club is as good as it gets. Eric Fox, you know that very well.
Quite an organization. Couldn't do it without not just the Booster Club, officers, but just everybody who fills in, from feeding the team to, doing what they do on film days and just team dinners on Thursday nights. Just a lot of people who play a role in the success of this program.
And the Trojan TV crew here today, taking up their Halloween. So we appreciate Mason Prince and his crew tonight. Enid, again, 0-8, 0-5 in league play. Their first-year coach is Brad Cornelson. He was an all-state quarterback in 1994 at Texoma, which is a small community in this part of the state. Played for a very good coach, former OU player John Winchester, whose son James is the long snapper for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brad then went on to play quarterback at Missouri Southern, was a coach there, helped them to an MIAA 99 championship, was a grad assistant at OSU in 01 and 02, also coached at Illinois State, Northeastern State, Memphis as the offensive coordinator in 2012 as the Trojans enter the field. And Brad Cornelson, the Enid coach, was also at Virginia Tech from 2016 to 2021. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing, but it's going to take some time to get things going here in Enid.
I think some of that overlapped with Justin Fuentes at Virginia Tech.
Right, correct.
Used to be Union quarterback.
Yes. So Adam Gaylor has pretty much a full staff tonight. Rob Labor, I think there are a few players out of this game that are being held out of the game, but for the most part, everybody looks like they're suited up and ready to play.
Yeah, and I think really one of the most important things tonight for a game like this, Don, is just to try to get out of here healthy, right? You're 2 games from the end of the regular season. You don't want to see anything that could potentially jeopardize the future or the next few weeks for some of your key pieces. But a couple notables that are still out tonight for the Trojans. Ace Gillum, the senior corner, still sidelined. Lincoln Middlestead also still out of the lineup. So that's 2 senior DBs right there. And then one of your senior backup linebackers, Tyler Morris, not active tonight as well. But Malachi Dillard is back in the lineup after missing last week. So for the most part, for game 9 of the regular season, Trojans are a pretty healthy bunch.
Yeah, they really are. Landon Kazar has had a phenomenal season, as has KD Jones. I mean, we run down his numbers every week. 1,394 yards rushing this year, 7 yards per carry, 27 rushing touchdowns. He has 30 catches for 326 yards. That's 11 yards a catch and 4 touchdowns. He is... he has already established passing Trayvon Burree for the most all-purpose yards in Trojan history, and he needs, 50 from 22 is 28 yards. He needs 28 yards to get to the 7,000 all-purpose yard mark. How crazy is that?
That's just insane. And I think we looked at him for like overall state leaders, and the running back from White Oak several years ago, Reggie
Skinner.
Yeah, Reggie Skinner. I mean, you just think those are those type of numbers, like almost like 8-man football numbers.
Right.
There,
Right. Correct. Yeah, you look at his career yards, and you would think that as far as 6A football goes, when he's done, that would be near the top. But it's actually I think he would end up around 3rd in 6A football. But still some tremendous numbers. I think he will be just one of 40 running backs in the state of Oklahoma to rush for 5,000 yards if he gets to that point. Here's the kickoff. Oh, there's a fumble. Trojans are quickly down. Did they get the first bobble of the game? Nope, they did not. Enid covers it.
different type of kickoff. We've done some different things on special teams. That one was more like a roller. Instead of end over end, it's going, the width of the football there, and different look. And so interesting to see what Coach Morris is continuing to add to the special teams bag.
I meant to see who was going to kick off. Grant Cutter had been kicking off, as we're down to, I think Coach Gaylor said we're down to our fourth guy kicking off this year. So they've tried several different people, and here we go. Enid has the ball, first down at the 27-yard line in those Houston Oiler uniforms. And that's not Earl Campbell. Running the ball is Zarion Sanders. He's one of 9 seniors on the team. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and the Trojans were right there, including Clark Carricker, the team's leading tackler, on the stop.
And Pierce Brand comes immediately into the run fit and meets him there a little bit in the backfield, and so pretty secure defense right there. But they just don't want to give Enid any type of momentum. Enid was able to hit a long ball in Norman early, and they just wanted to make sure they played very disciplined this opening series.
They've scored 2 touchdowns in the last 4 games, I think it is. We'll run down their schedule. Here's Sanders. Now, he is a load, and it takes 3 of them to bring him down at about the 32-yard line. Leading the way there, number 30, Pierce Brand.
That time just kind of got pinned inside there as the running back takes the edge, and so he was able to get outside, contained there. And like you said, he's a big-size athlete, so pretty good pickup there, bringing up third down and medium.
On 3rd and 4th down defense, the Trojans have yielded the conversions just 30% of the time. So they've been very good at 3rd and 4th down this year. 3rd and 5. Oh, they set up the screen nicely. And look at that play by Luke McAnally, who was on the rush and then came back to make the tackle.
Yeah, got to give it to Luke there. I don't know if we get a replay, but Luke is in quick on the pass rush. He sees and he feels that being set up for the screen. He's able to double back, and it is 4th and short. Interesting to see Enid feeling like they're going to go for it here just on their side of the 50-yard line.
Well, they need 1 yard. We're at Pangburn and Luke McAnally in the interior of that defensive line. On the edge, Orlando Williams, 48-33, Carson Odom. They're trying to get him to jump. The Trojans were leaning, but haven't been hasty. And now they'll have to call a timeout and punt the ball. I like the strategy, but boy, I don't know why you want to burn a timeout this early in the game.
Well, you don't have any wins on the board yet.
Yeah, right,
I mean, what do you got to lose,
exactly.
right?
Temperature, as we mentioned, 55, should get down to about 50 by the end of the night. Rob Labor, this is probably the most comfortable. This is probably the only football type weather. I know one of the games earlier in there, I guess it was the Owasso game, we had a cold front come through, but no wind. This feels like football weather.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange for the second game of the season to be the coldest game of the season. I don't normally anticipate that, but overall, Don, man, what a spectacular weather year it has been. We've had some really, really good luck. Save last week when you had a little bit of lightning there at the end of the 3rd quarter to put a stop to that Moore game. But, man, other than that, tough to complain about the conditions so far this season.
Hernandez, Nehemiah Hernandez is their punter. And it's a short kick that gives Jenks the ball at the 40-yard line, so this will be a 25-yard kick. The last time Jenks returned a punt for a touchdown was right here on this field.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not remembering it.
I believe
Can I guess?
Yes, please.
Can I guess Jaden Patrick?
You're exactly right.
Let's go.
Yes.
2015, 2016?
I think it was later than that, Coach.
Oh, that's right.
KD gets nowhere.
Yeah, interesting. Wanted to get the offense off to a fast start there. We talked about how much this offensive line has been just opening up holes, but nothing there for KD. He gets hit as soon as he gets the ball.
And that falls incomplete.
So, like we said, wanted to get off to a good start and just execute. You know, it's not really about playing Enid right now. It's about playing us and executing at the level to the standard. You hear Coach Gaylor talk about the standard all the time, playing to the standard, and first two plays have been lackluster for sure.
So 3rd down and 10 for Landon Kazar. Landon Webb to snap. Malik Craig, the right guard. Riley Kester, left guard. Jamison Mobley, right tackle, a freshman. The left tackle, Dafe Aruru, and they go deep. They've got Clay Kine, and Klein catches it. And out of bounds at about the 1 yard line. Or are they going to give him the 6? Yeah. Okay, they're going to mark it out at the 1.
Yeah, Klein just beats his guy off the ball, and then Landon, as so often has happened, drops a dime in there, just right in his basket, and that's a way to overcome a 3rd and 10 right there.
59-yard pickup to Klein, who was looking for his 2nd touchdown of the season. And that's easily in for 6 for KD. Touchdown Trojans.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to even give him a full yard on that, right? It was just a few inches, but goes in very easily there. And so no need to panic after those first 2 plays. Just come back and execute like you need to. And got Q Butcher in there. They've used this setup a few times. But bringing the kicker on now.
So now they will set up for the regular kick with Owen Mahan, Jake Flowers to hold. Jake was our guest this past week on the Jenks Trojan TV show. Sam McEwen the snap. Good pick by the holder Flowers, and Mahan knocks it through as he usually does. He has only missed 1 this year, 49 out of 50, including 36 in a row. And the Trojans lead early, 7-0 on Trojan TV.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
When pain slows you down, even the simplest movements can feel out of reach. But you don't have to go through it alone. At Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, we provide the results you want and the care you deserve. From diagnosis to recovery, our specialists offer advanced treatment and personalized care so you can heal and get back to what moves you. Because life keeps moving, and we'll keep you moving with it every step of the way. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
So the Trojans march 60 yards, and they do it in 4 plays. Big play was obviously the 3rd and 10 and the 59-yard pass down to Klein to the 1 yard line, and KD punched it over. Here's the kick from Cutter. Down the middle it goes. This will end up well at the 13-yard line and down at the 25.
So interesting setup here. You know, we are on the visitor sidelines. There's a small press box facing the home side, and got our crowd mic out here. The Trojan TV is set up. You hear a band and a drum line in the background. That's not the Trojan Pride. That is Enid's band.
The Big Blue Band.
The Big Blue Band is sitting on the visitor side, and
that's because they didn't have enough seats on the other side.
Well,
they were worried.
Maybe, perhaps.
They were worried they might not have enough room for him over there. That's catty. Sorry. I feel for him, man. I was here 50 years ago doing a game, and they were very good back then. And, of course, good in really every decade. They've had their share of good teams.
Great team defense right there on the pass to the outside. I was actually here for a Midwest City game versus Enid back when Lydell Carr was playing, and
early
it was a
80s.
tough game, and you could not find a place to stand in this place.
Right. They won state championships in 1964, 65, and 66. Just the second school in history to win 3 consecutive state championships at the time. And then Ron Lancaster guided them to the 83 title in an upset over Booker T. Washington. Lydell Carr was the player of the year that year. Quarterback throws it. He's got a man open. First down at the 40 and out to midfield. So the Plainsmen fans have something to cheer about.
Yeah, play action there. We just lost sight of the guy. We have two guys working together downfield on the receiver. They're leaking him out into the sidelines, and so just that's what coaches talk about, eye discipline, making sure that they've got their keys that they're looking at. A big pickup for the Plainsmen on that one.
Pickup of 31 yards to Brody Mills. Of course, they had P.J. Mills here, an All-State receiver, Sean Mills, another All-State player, and this one is caught at the 20. Enid, who hasn't scored a touchdown, is knocking on the door. They haven't scored a touchdown in their last at least 4 games. Yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns against Norman, only 2 touchdowns in their last 6 games, and here they are at the Jenks 5-yard line.
And then the scoring against Norman, that's kind of what they did. They hit a long ball, deep ball like that, and then came back and Norman threw a pick 6. They jumped up 14 points very quickly, but number one is he's showing lots of good concentration there, picking up that ball in the midst of 2 Trojan defenders.
Quarterback has to throw that one away. And the quarterback is Hernandez. He's also their punter.
Good pressure there on Pierce Brand as he's trying to roll to his right, sprint to his right. He sees that there's just not anything there. Throws into the back of the end zone, but Pierce putting the pressure and making sure the quarterback has to get rid of the ball and not turn into a run threat there.
Last 2 throws have been really impressive from Hernandez, the throws that have got them down here, and then just a good decision with the football. Don't try to force anything. If it's not there, throw it away.
Hernandez throwing for number 1, and that'll be out of bounds. Look out. Don't hurt yourself. Zion Castleberry on the coverage almost had to scale the back fence.
Yeah, pretty good ball, giving his receiver a chance to go up for it. It's just a little bit deep in the end zone, but Castleberry not taking any chances, going up there to try to bat it away, showing his own athleticism, getting high there. But their receiver is definitely a threat. He's a good target, and he's a good athlete.
3rd and goal from the 5 for Hernandez. Sanders to his right. Sanders gets the call on the delay, and he's open, and he's into the end zone.
Nice play design. Got to give it up for Enid right there. Showing the quarterback sprinting out, and he just hands it off underneath on his way to sprint out to the right. And Trojans not expecting to run up the middle. That run lane is just wide open, and he's able to get across, pick up the touchdown.
There's the extra point to tie the game on its way, and no good. So the kick, no good, and Jenks hangs on to the lead as we continue with 6:48 remaining here in the first quarter. Well, when you're 0-8, that happens. You miss the extra point to tie the game here early.
Yeah, it just looked like he got up underneath it and fell a little bit short there. But this defensive unit is definitely going to have some communication time, some teaching time over there by the big screen, and making sure that everybody understands where they're supposed to be on their alignment and then executing. So that's something that the defensive coaches really want to get cleared up.
So the Trojans will send K.D. Jones back along with Cade Klein deep. Nashua Charleston is one of the up-backs for the Trojans, along with number 21, Braxton Talent, and number 11, Jalen Cato, one of the starting receivers. Trojans lead 7-6. That was a 75-yard, 6-play drive, capped off by a 31-yard pass, and then another pass of 41 yards on back-to-back plays.
Like Rob said, down a couple of guys in the defensive secondary, but still they're expecting more efficiency there than showed on that drive.
There's the pooch kick taken by Braxton Daniel, and he'll just fall on it, so Trojans will take over at the 43-yard line.
Good field position there, Rob, but it kind of looked like Braxton wanted to scoop that up and, take off running with it.
Maybe just a moment, maybe just a split second of hesitation there, but ultimately made a good decision, made the right decision, and just swallowing that ball and falling down on it.
Trojans are averaging 525 yards per game, total offense. They're on pace to be the best ever in Jenks history in that mark. Here's Caleb Dillard's been a big part of it, and look at that defense. Coming up for the Plainsmen was Wyatt Cordray to make the stop at the line of scrimmage.
Plays that really well, plays through the two blocks out there, and then wraps up Dillard, and Dillard is pretty elusive, but he just doesn't have enough time to pick up any speed. The defender's right on him as soon as he makes the catch.
Here's KD busting down the middle. Look at him spin across the 50 and near the first down marker.
Rob, I think that's the first time we've handed it to him, other than that short touchdown, besides that very first play of the game when he got hit the backfield.
Yeah, that's right. Now we've got that's probably going to be a false start here against the Trojans as they jumped a little bit early. That's going to back them up.
So make it 3rd and 6 at the Enid 40. Well, no, they'll make it move it to the Jenks side of the field.
So instead of having 3rd and very short, now you kind of put yourself in a more difficult position.
Caleb Dillard, by the way, that's his 46th catch of the year. He needs one touchdown catch to move into the Jenks record book. That would give him 10 on the season and would put him in the top 10, tying him for 6th most in Trojan history in a single season. Landon's dialing up another long distance for Klein, and this one's overthrown.
He had Braxton Daniel as a shorter route into the boundary, just about 5 yards past the chains, and then he had Klein streaking downfield, and Klein had beaten the coverage again, but just got it a little bit too far in front of him. And interesting 4th and medium here on our side of the 50. Looks got to still have our offensive unit out there.
That one was better defended, though, by the Plainsmen. They did have safety help over the top and kind of forced Kazar to maybe throw that ball closer to the boundary. Ended up throwing it a few yards out of bounds.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 6. Kazar's got time. Fastball over the middle, caught by Caleb Dillard. First down, inside the 30. Still on his feet down the 23-yard line.
What a job on the inside route. It's almost like a deep end, and they're going to get back on the ball in a hurry, but great strike there by Landon, and then run after the catch.
Here's KD trying to turn the corner. Good move. Down the sideline, into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Kester is getting up a little slowly. Mobley, the freshman, he'll shake it off. And KD has a 25-yard TD run, and that TD run gives him 61. Nobody's rushed for more touchdowns in Jenks history. Nobody scored more touchdowns in Jenks history than KD.
Yes, for sure, DK, that he was going to run out of real estate there, and somehow just managed to kind of slow up enough, plant that foot in the ground, and then really walk the tightrope along the sidelines. There could not have been very much green between his foot and the white line, but did a great job of maintaining his balance, staying in bounds, and finding the pylon.
You are correct, sir. 5:23 to go. He didn't have much room at all, but he scores, and we'll take a break, and the Trojans have some insurance. They lead 14-6 midway through the first quarter on Trojan TV.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid.
So the Trojans march 57 yards, do it in 6 plays. KD, a wide of that on the 25-yard run. Trojans are up 14-6. Set up by that Caleb Dillard 27-yard catch and run. Tom Graham texts and says he's an Enid alum. Of course, Tom ran the Jenks Trojan football website for many years. Said, I was there in the 70s, and we weren't very good back then. Justin Glenn, former Jenks assistant coach, also was a player here at Enid.
Yeah, played with Austin Box, later went to OU.
Yeah, in 06, played on that state championship contending team that lost to Jenks, as we mentioned, at TU in 06. And I'll never forget Justin. Had to be about 2015. I think it was maybe his first year at Jenks when we won the state championship, and he made sure he was the one carrying the trophy to the bus, man. He was clutching that thing with all he had. Proud moment for him. First down, Enid at the 24-yard line. Fake to Sanders. Hernandez throws, and it's short, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Klein on the coverage.
Castleberry does a nice job with the line of scrimmage, making sure he's on his guy there, kind of the stock block, and then Klein reads the action in front of him, not biting on the play action fake by the quarterback, and even if they did catch it, Klein was closing pretty quickly.
Again, the Trojans averaging 48 points a game. They continue on that pace. They would end up as the 3rd best in regular season in Trojan history, and their total offensive numbers, 525 a game, would be the best in a regular season. 2nd and 10 for Nehemiah Hernandez, the Enid quarterback. Has time, and this one's knocked away incomplete. Almost intercepted by Dillard, looking for his 4th interception of the season.
And I'm sure Caleb's thinking he should have had that one. That one kind of got hung up there a little bit, and receiver was having to stop and go back for it, and Dillard was playing almost center field there.
Yep.
About like the World Series. I'm sure there'll be some World Series talk at some point tonight.
We'll keep an eye on the Toronto Dodger game for you. I'm rooting for the Blue Jays, to be honest, but right now I'm looking for some other scores. How about this one? Mustang at Norman, and the Broncos already lead in the first quarter 21-0. I've got another interesting score for you coming up after this play on 3rd and 10 that doesn't go anywhere. No gain on the play. How about this score from Bigsby? First quarter, Deer Creek 15, Bigsby 15. Interesting.
Okay.
Broken Arrow at Edmond Memorial. That's a key game in the other district for 2nd place in the district, and Broken Arrow is at Edmond Memorial in the first quarter, leading 14-7.
Odom and Brand do a nice job of shutting down that last play and making sure that the punt team has to come on for the Plainsmen.
Nice high kick. KD calls for the fair catch. It hits an Enid Plainsman and will be down there. Flags go down. I don't think they gave KD room to catch it.
Now he fair caught. He showed a fair catch signal and was trying to make a play on the ball, and Enid was right there in his face. Actually hit the Plainsman in the back, so that will be a interference penalty right there for Enid. Give the Trojans a little bit more space.
They're already in Enid territory. I think it moves it up 5 yards.
You can if you want. That's fine.
Oh, they're going to move him up, move him down 15. Wow. All right.
So, Rob, I know you're a hockey guy. What are you thinking about the World Series?
Was a former Canadian citizen. I'm all in on the Blue Jays, guys.
That's what I thought you might say.
Let's go Birds.
First down from the Enid 32. KD in traffic, out of traffic, down the sideline again. Oh, look at that All-State move. And a touchdown, although there's a flag down at the 5-yard line. That will go on his highlight reel.
Man, that sure was pretty not getting the end zone. I mean, not only does you see the hurdle there towards the goal line, but he puts two incredible moves. One just right about the 40-yard line, and just missed the replay there. I apologize for our Trojan TV fans, but two outstanding moves to break to the Trojan sidelines, and looks like it's going to be negated by penalty.
I'm going to get clarification on the rule here, guys, but I believe it is illegal to hurdle a player.
You are correct, sir. Yes, it is. At this level, it is illegal to hurdle a player.
It's illegal to hurdle.
And I guess they mark it at the spot, so you would give KD a run down. Let's see, the ball's at the 22, so you would give him 25-yard run down to the 7, and then a penalty. And look at this pass, wide open. Caleb Dillard. There's touchdown number 10 for number 5.
Caleb just getting a free release from his inside position there, heading straight up the seam, and Landon sees him quickly, wants to get the ball to him. Got to hand it to Caleb because that thing was almost like an Ohtani fastball there, Rob. I mean, it was definitely getting there in a hurry.
Yeah, another good delivery from Landon Kazar. Just a laser over the middle there, and not an easy catch. Kind of looking over his shoulder, but Caleb Dillard with that long reach, able to snag that one and corral it for another touchdown. So the penalty on KD kind of ends up being rendered meaningless there, guys, as the Trojans are able to score on the next play.
So the Trojans have upped their lead to 21-6. 4:13 to go here in the first quarter. 22-yard pass play to Caleb Dillard. Man, that is pretty. And Landon Kazar just continues to put up tremendous numbers.
Well, and Don, when you think about the game that Kazar's had so far, think about what's led to the first couple of touchdowns and just the key plays on those drives, right? It's 3rd and 10, and you throw it deep to Cade Klein. That ball was perfectly delivered. It hits Cade Klein in stride, able to just run underneath that ball into close to the end zone, and then a fourth down conversion on another perfectly thrown ball. Now, yeah, these guys are open, but the ball still has to be delivered, and we've seen it just time and time again from Landon Kazar. His consistency has been what has stood out the most to me this season.
Absolutely. His 4 of 6 here in the early going. His accuracy has just been, I don't recall that he's thrown too many really bad passes this year. They've all been pretty accurate.
Well, we've talked so much about, Braxton Daniels doing well, and Caleb Dillard doing well, and KD doing well, and, all these different offensive weapons, but the key to making all of that happen is Landon, and what he's able to do with his decision making, and then, like you're talking about, how he is able to deliver the ball. He's really, we have, such superstars and people that are getting a lot of attention, but man, like you said, his consistency, his smart playmaking ability, his decision-making ability has really been the key to what they've been able to produce so far offensively this season.
Hernandez, handoff to Sanders. Rhett Pangburn says, not in my neighborhood. He wraps him up the line of scrimmage and then gets a lot of help.
Pangburn doing an excellent job there, setting his block and meeting the ball carrier in the hole on his side of the line of scrimmage, and then just stands him up and gets a lot of help from white jerseys. Good play right there by Rhett.
Number 40, Bryson Collier into the game. On the edge. 3-man front on 2nd and 10. Hernandez coming this way, has to throw it away. Malachi Dillard dropped back with the safety, as a safety, so they had nobody deep.
I think that might have been a little bit of miscommunication because you had the tight end that was actually peeling back to help block, which meant you had about 3 defenders on one receiver for the Plainsmen, so might have been some miscommunication there.
After one inning, no score between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Probably go to about 18 innings.
Probably. Oh, yeah, probably. I remember we did a game on a Friday night in Oklahoma City. I think it was at Moore, that 18-inning game they had a few years ago, and was able to get home and watch the last 5 innings. Got home in time to watch. I didn't stay up for the one the other night, though. Can't say I was staying up the other night.
And right there, just a lot of pressure on Hernandez in the backfield, and he is actually trying to get away and kind of falling down as he's throwing that ball. And if he gets it a little bit farther.
We've got a holding call against the Trojans here, guys.
I did not see that.
It's going to be first and 10.
Was that on their side? Did that get thrown on their side, or who threw that, Rob? Can you tell?
Came from the side judge here on the Jenks sideline.
Okay. I was looking up at the top, and, Castleberry was there, had a chance to probably make a play on the ball. Or actually, Dillard might have been at the top on that one, but the ball was just so far underthrown he couldn't get back to it. But either way, it would have come back with a holding call.
Number 88 comes split. That's Keith Morris. He's a tall lad, 6'2", 6'3". Instead, they go with Sanders and nowhere to go. Sanders is eaten up in the backfield. I believe it was Clark Carricker that came bursting through.
Clark Carricker was as untouched as anybody right there, and he just not only gets through that run fit, but finishes off the play. Huge tackle for loss right there on first down.
Carricker came into this game 84 tackles, so that's over 10 tackles a game for number 12. 4 behind the line and a sack. I think he got that in the first game. And he's also been the second leading rusher on the team. Hernandez, throwback screen, and that'll be a pass interference call on Collier.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Don. I was just going to say, I think Bryce is thinking it's a screen and it's behind the line of scrimmage. So now they both threw the flag. So I guess Coach Gaylor is asking about that as well.
I think that's what Coach Gaylor, saying is either at the line of scrimmage or behind the line. But the officials don't agree, and they'll mark it 15.
So 2 big penalties keep the Plainsmen's offensive drive alive here.
Yeah, some dispute and some discussion about how catchable that ball was, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you say, you're not really playing Enid, you're playing against yourselves. When you play a team that's 0-8, 0-5. Right now, the Plainsmen showing some grit as Sanders gets inside the 45-yard line. Gain of 4.
You see, they really have some great skill guys. Their line on both sides of the ball not quite as good as what we have played against several times, and so you would think at some point physically this Trojan defensive line would start wearing them down, but a lot of skill positions for the Plainsmen on offense.
2nd down and 6, as you see on the screen, after the 4-yard gain for Nehemiah Hernandez. Handoff to Sanders. Not much room there, just a yard. Cornelson, the Enid coach, I gave you his resume. I failed to mention the last 3 seasons he's been at Sam Houston State. So I'm thinking he probably was instrumental in recruiting Brody Henderson, who's now playing at Sam Houston State.
Well, and that was Coach McGraw too, right? Coach Gary McGraw.
Gary McGraw,
yeah.
True.
So McAnally making first contact on that play, but several of the other guys there, Pierce Brand, Clark Carricker, lots of guys swarming the ball after McAnally holds up his momentum at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down. They faked the reverse, and the quarterback's got the first down. Nice play for Nehemiah Hernandez and the Plainsmen.
Yeah, Yeah, similar. It's not the same play and a different design, but similar to what happened on the touchdown run. You've got action going away from the middle of the field, and then you've got a ball carrier coming back inside, and just not being sound on our defensive gap assignments for him to be able to squirt through that pick up that much yard.
First down to the Jenks 34-yard line. Trojans leading 21-6 after it was 7-6. At one time, this one's picked off. Caleb Dillard, his 4th interception of the year, back up to midfield.
Good team defense right there because we've got pressure on the quarterback. He's having to pull up and he throws it and just underthrows it. They do have some guys that are kind of behind us, but Dillard had a shot at one earlier and wasn't able to pick it off, but that time he was. You see right here, he's going to come up the sideline, gets a good block from Carricker right there, delivers a blow, and then gets driven out of bounds. So good team defense right there helps Dillard come up with that big interception.
So this will be the last play of the quarter. KD looked like he was going to go out of bounds. He'll pick up 6, and that'll take care of the first period. Thank you for joining us from Enid, where the Trojans lead at 21-6 on Jenks Trojan TV.
At Our Best Bank, we believe financial confidence should be within reach for everyone. That's why we're here to help you plan and achieve your goals at every step. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank, we believe.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
Craving comfort? Waldo's Chicken and Beer has you covered. Sink your teeth into our crispy southern fried or juicy rotisserie chicken. And don't forget our scratch-made sides like mac and cheese plus our original sauces. So grab a beer and get clucking to Waldo's. 71st and Yale, Broken Arrow, and Anawasso. Waldo'sChicken.com.
Tonight on Bark Island, it's the ultimate adventure at the Woodland West Pet Resort. Newcomers enter the villa. Will they become best buds or playful rivals in doggy daycare? It's glam time. Pups dressed to impress with top-notch grooming. Who rocks the best makeover? Sweet dreams are made in our luxury suites. Owners can peek in live. It's party time. Our pups strut their stuff with fresh tricks to wow the crowd. Trusted, professional, and oh so fun. Join the pack. Woodland West Pet.
Don King, Eric Fox, Rob Labor, Mason Prince, our producer on Trojan TV. Welcome back to the second quarter, brought to you by Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, where the Trojans lead 21-6.
Did that score? Come on. Really happy our Trojan TV crew made the trip over tonight, but nice little pregame visit by Enid's TV crew, their streaming crew, and they're kind of the OGs. They've been doing it for about 10 years now.
Wow. There's KD, who just gained 6 to make it 2nd and 4. And now he gets a little closer to that line to gain.
Yeah, so Enid's TV production has been around for about 10 years, one of the first ones in 6A for sure, so nice of them to come over and say hi to us.
KD down the middle. Goodbye. See you later. KD's into the end zone from 42 yards out.
That's one of those Rob really likes to see, where he uses that patience at the line of scrimmage to let that hole open up in front of him and just explode on through. We'll see right here on replay, just a little bit of a stutter step hesitation, and then boom, hits that second gear and he's gone.
Yeah, and once that hole opened up, there was only really one man who could stop him. It was the Enid safety coming down, and KD took care of him with a stiff arm, created that separation, and it was over.
That puts him over 100 yards on the night, 105. So the extra point makes it 27-6. I guess we missed the extra point. No, we made the extra point. I thought we did. 28-6. early here, just starting the second quarter.
Flowers gets the ball down. Mahan drives it through, so make it look routine there.
Did. They just didn't put it up on the board, which had me confused. So, your kids, obviously Halloween. Did you dress up with them?
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Probably not.
Really?
I bet maybe, but probably not.
Okay.
I just ate their candy.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just going to be honest here to all the viewers back at home.
Rob Labor, what about you? What are the kids dressed up as tonight?
Pretty athletic Halloween for the Labor kids. The sports indoctrination runs deep with my children. So my daughter Lainey is dressed up as a Jenks cheerleader tonight, which is pretty much her embracing her destiny, since that is what her mother does for a living. And my oldest son went as C.D. Lamb, had his 88, cowboy shoes on there, had the gloves, had the helmet, no C.D.'s signature moves. And then my middle one happens to be a big Green Bay Packers fan, so he was all set to be Jordan Love, but then got himself a new Jenks Trojan football jersey last night that he practically slept in and refused to take off today. So that is what he went as, with his hockey shoulder pads underneath. And they went
very
out
nice,
some candy with the helmets and the pads on, and they had a little cheerleader with them, and it was a good setup. Hopefully they had a great time.
Well, let's hope so. Sorry that you missed it. I know you're sorry you missed it, but we appreciate you trekking to Enid, 2-hour drive to be with us tonight. First down from the 21-yard line for Hernandez, on the run as Odom chases him, and the pass incomplete.
Overall, guys, I think Hernandez has played a solid game at quarterback for Enid. That interception to end that last drive, really his first really poor decision of the night with the football, as he just kind of threw that one up, and it hung up there in the air and was an easy pick for Caleb Dillard. Other than that, I think he's shown some pretty decent command of the offense thus far.
He really has. He is he is a junior. They only have 9 seniors on this team and 5 or 6 7 freshmen on this team. I'm sorry, my Ring doorbell keeps going off. We unplugged everything tonight, so the house was dark, and yet kids are still knocking on the doors.
It's like a good candy house. You can't pass it up.
No. 6A2, Stillwater leading at Piedmont 7-0. Choctaw all over Lawton Eisenhower, 37-3 is expected. And Muskogee and Sapulpa, that's a big game. Sapulpa at home leading Muskogee 14-3 near the end of the first quarter. Here on 2nd and 10, Hernandez, play action, throws the screen, well set up. Sanders gets a head of steam to the 26-yard line. Cut down by Odom. Carson Odom, if we haven't talked about him enough this year, the sophomore is the 4th leading tackler on the team, leads the team with Klein with 7 tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Just going to continue to mature, get bigger, faster, stronger, but has really settled into that position well for somebody that they believed had the potential there at the beginning of the season, but just needed the reps in the games.
3rd and 5 from the 26. Hernandez running out of bounds. Somebody clocked him out of bounds. That's Malachi Dillard, and so he'll get a penalty.
Yeah, Malachi delivered a blow. I don't know if Malachi realized how close he was to the sideline there, Rob.
Yeah, may not have, and Hernandez up now, but pretty slow getting up. He took a pretty good shot there from Malachi Dillard, and over the course of the last couple drives, guys, that's now the 3rd first down that this Trojan defense has gifted the Plainsmen via penalty. You had the defensive holding, you had a pass interference call, and now you've got a personal foul call.
Yeah, that's not going to please head coach / defensive coordinator Adam Gaylor.
You got to mention him as defensive coordinator because we had so many people concerned the week that he said he was firing his defensive coordinator, and I know the director of communications, Rob Labor, he's His phone's probably blowing up.
Right. Well, here we go on a new set of downs. Sanders captured by Pierce Brand after a gain of 2.
Same play they scored on earlier, but this time quarterback was coming to the left, going to the wide side of the field. Henderson off underneath as he's sprinting out, but that time the defense does a good job. They've got Tugwell in there. They've got Kester in there. Across that front, they've got Orlando in there, and everybody's playing their gap assignment. They shut it down quickly.
Jalen Cato in at corner. 2nd and 9 from the 41-yard line. Player in motion is Lane Slater. Is Hernandez faking the draw, throwing deep. He's got a man. That's Slater who catches it. Nice catch at the 30-yard line. First down, Enid. Zion Castleberry couldn't get over in time.
Yeah, I just got caught on a double move there. You know, Zion thinks he's breaking to the inside like on a post, and then the receiver does a great job of breaking it back to the sidelines, and Zion just got his hips and head twisted a little bit there, and like Rob said, pretty good ball to get us to the outside, and big first down pickup.
30-yard pickup down to the Jenks 29-yard line. All first downs brought to you by the 10 District. Of course, the 10 District located in downtown Jenks. 1st and 10 at the Jenks Trojan 29-yard line. Trojans leading 28-6. Here's Sanders again. Here's Julian Tugwell, 55 into the game. And again, not much room for Sanders, a yard, maybe 2.
Odom, Kester, Tugwell, Orlando, those guys shutting it down. McAnally in there. Those guys really doing a good job. Actually, I think McAnally just got in there for Kester as Kester comes to the sidelines, but just not giving him much of a running lane there on first down.
It's been the passing of Hernandez that has caused the concern of the Trojans. Here on 2nd and 9, Hernandez flips it out of bounds. Looked like he had some room to run.
Got pinned up a little bit inside, but we're fighting across the block there to get an angle at the quarterback. He's running to the wide side of the field. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take off with it, but of course we saw that a little while ago and Dillard blasted him out of bounds. So he may be a little reluctant to continue on that running path.
Trojans are 4-1 in district play. Mustang at Norman tonight. They're each 3-2. And Deer Creek at Bixby. They're 3-2. Trojans would pretty much clinch second place in the district with a win tonight. This pass incomplete. Looking for Slater again, so it'll be 4th down and 9. You would think they'd go for it at the Jenks 29-yard line.
Yeah, you would. And Klein's doing a good job there, breaking on the receiver as soon as he throws it out into the flat. Might have had a chance to actually make a play on the ball, but he was zoned in on making sure the tight end wasn't able to finish the catch as it careens off the tight end. Kind of goes past Klein right there, but good pickup there on making sure that he gets that flat covered from his safety position.
Carricker and Brand are the linebackers. And here's Hernandez under duress. Oh, and he underthrew it. Otherwise, that would have been a possible pick 6 by Klein.
Good call there by Coach Gaylor, bringing the heat there on 4th and 9, making sure the quarterback does not have time. He's got Pierce Brand in his face. He's got a lot of pressure in his face about the time he gets the ball, so he's not able to get comfortable, find that receiver. Ball goes over on downs.
So the Trojans amassing some yardage here in this game. After one quarter, the Trojans had 225 yards total offense compared to Enid 130. And again, KD already over 100 yards, 105 yards rushing. And he has 3 of the 4 touchdowns. Ooh, I thought he dropped it. I guess he almost dropped it, and then Cato hung on to it to get a yard or 2.
Yeah, that had to be pretty close to the ground by the time he got his hands on it there. That little bobble, but still able to squirt forward for a few yards.
2nd and 9 from the 30 for Kazar. Look at that offensive line just open up these huge holes, and KD takes advantage. He rips it down to the Enid 40-yard line. That'll be good for 30 more.
Got Webb and Mosley getting down there as well. Those linemen showing a good speed.
They fake to KD. Kazar in trouble and throws it away.
Well, they may call a hold on Kester. I'm not sure what they're going to call here, but an eligible receiver downfield. I guess it's on a Ruru. I didn't see it. It came really, really late by that side judge, who's right next to the head coach from Enid. I don't know, Rob, did you see a Ruru downfield?
I did not see that one, guys. My eyes were just on Landon Kazar and did not see an offensive lineman down there, so I missed that one.
Well, a Ruru is not hard to miss, so if we didn't see him, I don't know what that means.
1st and 15. This is Klein getting the 5 yards back. And then some. Down to the 36, a gain of 9.
I really do think they're going to try to pick up this tempo and keep a little bit more off balance.
KD keeps everybody off balance. Look at that move to the outside, down to the 11-yard line. Gain another 25 yards.
You know, Rob, you got to worry about him just breaking it straight ahead, right? And so they're worried about him in the secondary, but then all of a sudden he's starting these jukes and cutting it back to the sidelines. It's just really tough for those secondary guys to have much of a shot.
Yeah, his ability to stutter step, his ability to change speeds so quickly, to go from that full speed to slow down, find an angle, make a cut, follow a block. Riley Kester was the one kind of leading the way for him that last time.
Braxton Daniel in motion. They don't look that way, and now Kazar takes off. Gets a block, turns it downfield, and is he into the end zone? He is. Touchdown for number 7.
Really like that decision right there by Landon. He's actually looking to the right side. The play is not on the left. He's not looking at there at all, but you see here he's able to use Klein and Braxton down there close to the goal line, especially Braxton. Looks like the ball comes out, but the ball comes out after he gets into the end zone. So I really like Landon's decision right there.
You bet. Kazar's 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. He's very judicious when it comes to running. I mean, he doesn't very calculating, isn't he? And he does extremely well. We'll take a break. 6:09 to go, midway 2nd quarter. Trojans up 35-6 when we continue on Trojan TV.
When you've got to spend some time away, there's no better place for your best friend to stay than Woodland West Pet Resort. With 17,000 square feet of fun, you can both take a no-guilt vacation. Relax, both of you. Pick up a new skill. Chow down on some well-deserved vacation food. Make new friends. Have a spa day. And finally, come home to your best friend. Woodland West Pet Resort. Sit, stay, and play. Located next to Woodland West Animal Hospital off Highway 75 in the Jenks exit.
So Grant Cutter, who also wears number 2, will kick off. Grant is a 6', 160 sophomore, wide receiver and a defensive back. He pokes it down the middle. Aiden Stevens couldn't quite catch up to him, but Trojans finally do.
That ball is just really hard to handle that way. Just, you know, it's not really a squib kick. It's a roller, but it's a wobbler and not easy for those guys to handle. And I do like this new element that's been introduced into the special teams.
Landis Morris, former Jenks Trojan, the special teams coach this year.
Especially when you know that those deep guys for Enid are so talented. You've already seen what they've done with some of their speed and athleticism. So keeping it out of their hands, and even if you give up a little bit of field position, you're thinking that your defense should be able to do their job and get the ball back for the offense rather quickly.
Kazar 6 of 8 passing, 120 yards and a touchdown. KD 170 yards in this first half and 3 touchdowns. And here's Enid trying with Hernandez. No gain on the play. They've not been able to run between the tackles much.
Character is such a big part of that, not just tonight, but all season long, like you mentioned.
Even though Luke McAnally is probably undersized, what a job he does at nose tackle. Here's a pass out for Slater off his fingertips. By the way, Union played Westmore last night, and Union all over the Jaguars, 44-7 was that final.
Westmore still looking for their first win of the season.
Yes. Bigsby 29, Deer Creek 15 now. Owasso in the first quarter leading Norman North 7-0. Edmond North all over Moore right now. That's an upset, 23-0. Mustang at Norman 21-15. Klein goes in for a sack. That's his second of the season for the sophomore.
Rob, the way he attacks that back shoulder there, you think that Hernandez may step to the side, but see here on the replay, as Klein goes straight to him, he's going to make sure that the quarterback doesn't sidestep him. Great discipline and technique to get him on the ground, especially when he's coming that hard off the edge.
Yeah, he was just on the quarterback so fast, guys, coming around the edge there, and I think Hernandez almost was kind of frozen, just got stuck in concrete a little back there and didn't even have time to make any kind of move or show any kind of escapability because Cade Klein was on him and made a really sure tackle, and now we got a bad snap on the punt.
And that'll go for a safety. So add 2 points to the Trojans, and they'll get the ball with 4:38 to go here in the first half.
Didn't really see what happened on that, Rob. I couldn't tell if it was just the punter wasn't quite ready, and I know it wasn't right to him.
It was not catchable. It was 3 feet over his head. So even if he had elevated, I don't think he was catching that.
But I just didn't see what caused it to go so high. I guess I'm a little perplexed.
So 37-6 now. The Trojans get the ball after the kick. Enid will have to kick from the 20-yard line. You mentioned Westmore going 0-9 last night. Here's an Enid team that's about to go 0-9. I'm wondering, because there's been such talk about some of these programs, Bigsby beat Enid 92-0, and so social media just was ripe for that one over that particular weekend, 3 weeks ago. I'm wondering if you shouldn't move when you redistrict every 2 years. Obviously, it's by enrollment, and the largest 16 schools are in 6A1, but well, if you can't compete in 6A1, do you move Westmore and Enid down to 6A2 and move Stillwater or the two teams that have been the most successful, the most wins over, say, a 4 or 5 year period up to 6A1?
Well, Enid has been down for a couple of years. There's no doubt about that, but Westmore is an anomaly. I mean, unfortunately for the Jaguars, they are on their 3rd head coach since April. They even had a head coaching change in August after practice had already started. So they're a little bit of an anomaly. So I wouldn't necessarily say Westmore fits that pattern, but I know there's conversations about teams that are not able to be successful at their level. What do we need to do?
Kazar with a quick pass out to Daniel for a first down.
and it comes in motion across the foundation, formation there, just gets out in the flat. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just to continue that conversation, guys, I'm gonna throw out an opinion here that may be unpopular, but I think it would be really interesting to try some sort of European model like they do in the UK with soccer of promotion and relegation. And when you have tiers and when you have different classes, if you're good enough, you move up, you get promoted. If you're not, you move down, and it gives you a chance to compete a little bit better the next time around.
Private schools have been facing that in Oklahoma now for the last several years. Look at Cato catch his first touchdown of the season for number 11. Oh, he looks to the skies. That's a Tulsa ER and Hospital Jenks Trojan touchdown.
Hopefully we'll get to see this again. Braxton Daniels giving up good protection on the backside for Kazar to have time, and Cato just runs away from his defender there and drops it in like you want him to, Rob.
Dropping it in would be an understatement. That was a perfectly, beautifully thrown football from Landon Kazar. Tight spiral, right amount of air underneath it. Again, allows his receiver to run to the football, doesn't make him hesitate, doesn't make him pause. Could not have thrown a better ball from Landon Kazar. And like you said, just dropping it in a bucket for Jalen Cato. And as those guys on the offense are running off the field, they were all saying, "We finally got him one."
So they were aware of it, as I was, that he'd been a little frustrated not scoring one yet this year. Well, it's 43-6, and this season, to show you how tough it's been on this Enid program, they've been outscored now 549-42 this season.
And just to put a bow on the conversation before the touchdown, guys, I mean, just as a fan of the game, right, as a fan of big games and big competition, how cool would it be to see a program like Carl Albert move up and play against the Jinx of the world? How great would it be for Lincoln Christian, who's just dominating in Class 3A, to move up and play against tougher competition? They would probably welcome it, right? Their kids and their coaches would probably welcome it. And then you have some teams move down and shift from year to year. So I understand the enrollment number and why they do it. You're matching up against schools of your own size, but not all same-size schools are created equal in terms of just the talent pool, in terms of some of the resources sometimes. So I think something like that would make sense. Do I think it will ever happen in athletics, in high school athletics in America? Probably not, but a guy can dream.
Well, you just mentioned it making sense, so that's one reason why, perhaps not. But let me play devil's advocate for a second. You know, we used to have one class called 6A before we divided it up to 1 and 6A1 and 6A2, right? And so Enid was playing against schools like, you know, Ponca City and Sand Springs and Sapulpa and Muskogee. And so, you know, you split the classes from 6A1, and now we're going to have a flag down here at the end, but you split 6A into two sections because you wanted more schools to compete in the playoffs and that kind of thing. But I mean, you haven't helped some of these teams secure victories and you know, wins and stuff like that. Yeah. So I mean, if we still had one super class, one 6A class, and not divided into 6A1 and 6A2, you know, they'd win some district games, you would think. But the other thing is, you know, you say, you know, a Carl Albert, somebody might be excited to come up. Well, then maybe not. You know, there's a good chance they wouldn't. But you could also say this, you know, there's a lot of people that said, Bixby 6A2, you know, they're the champs of 6A2, but that's not big boy ball. And they came up at 6A1 and they said, I think we can hang.
Bill Blankenship said, welcome to the SEC.
Yeah, and they took care of...
when they moved up to 6A1.
They took care of all the teams that doubted them, didn't they?
They did indeed. First down. Sanders, nowhere to go. A lot of white shirts there, so it'll bring up second down and 10. The Trojans' next game is next week, Thursday, for senior night, Thursday night, 7 o'clock against Edmond North.
Don't want to miss senior night.
No.
Also the night they got to reschedule the 25th reunion, 25th commemoration of the 2000 state championship squad, so excited that'll be happening as well.
They're going to hold a little function in downtown Jenks, I believe at the Lodge at 5 o'clock next Friday, or next Thursday before the game. Coach, you're invited.
I've got a table at City Hall Steakhouse, I think, for me, but no, the Lodge is going to be great.
That goes nowhere on the defensive stop by the Trojans.
Great recovery right there by Jalen Cato.
Yeah.
He was a little bit inside, and when the ball came out, he's fighting to get back outside and able to secure a tackle there for a loss.
Well, let's see. Mustang led Norman 21-0. That's now 21-15. Broken Arrow still leading Edmond Memorial 14-7 in the second quarter. And Bigsby has gone ahead of Deer Creek. It was 15-all. It's now 29-15 Spartans. Owasso still leading Norman North in the first quarter 7-0. 3rd and 11 from the 40-yard line for Nehemiah Hernandez. And Sanders, ball in the air. It's picked up in midair and out of bounds. Nice job defensively for the Trojans, and it's Cato who comes up with it.
And that was Charleston, guys, who put his hat right on the football, just popped that ball free, went right up into the air, into the waiting arms of Jalen Cato.
Big play right there. You know, Enid, you got to give it to Sanders. He's fighting for every yard he can get. Not necessarily bad ball security there. He's maybe up a little bit high for Charleston to come in and get a hat on it. Ball squirts out, and Cato has the presence of mind to be able to find it and then do something with it after he gets it.
That's the first turnover of their second turnover of the game. Dillard had an interception earlier. So the Trojans leading 44-6, have great field position at 30. Little option pitch to KD. And he runs over a defender and gets down to the 12-yard line. That'll be good for 18. He's approaching 200 yards rushing here in the first half alone.
Clock's winding down to 2 minutes. Obviously plenty of time. Trojans haven't used any timeouts, not yet. And another different variation that Coach Cronister hadn't shown yet right there.
188 yards rushing for KD, and that one's incomplete. Looking for Cato, and number 1 got in the way.
Might have just led Jalen a little bit on that one. Had a little bit more of an opportunity instead of leading him to hit him square in the numbers before he got that close to the end zone, because that's where the defender was breaking on him. But good route and good call that they'll come back to throughout the season.
KD bottled up, or is he? There's a flag down, so we're probably going to have a hold. KD picks up 1. See what the flag is. Not only has Enid lost all 8 games this year, they lost their last 8 last year. So overall, they've lost 16 in a row. They've lost 8 in a row here at home, and 11 of their last 12. Their last winning season was 2009.
So some context that our Trojan family doesn't have to think about very often is, we're playing some teams now at this time of the year that they have nothing to play for, right? They know there's no chance that they're going to make the playoffs. Their season is over in a few short days. So for them to continue to show up and practice and do the things to come out here and compete, even when it's not going their way, you got to give it up for that type of perseverance.
Exactly. 3rd down and 9, and there's a touchdown catch for Caleb Dillard. Number 2 on the night. Number 11 on the season.
Good slant route right there, and again, Landon sticks it on him, and he's got enough separation from his DB that easy 6 points right there. I'm sure the Jenks historian can tell us. I don't know the last time that a Jenks team did not make the playoffs.
1988.
That's a long time.
There's the extra point by Mahan, up and good. Minute 40 remaining, 100 seconds, and the Trojans are half to 100. They've hung have 100 on them, 51-6. As we take a break on Trojan TV.
Our pets are more than just pets. They're our people, our family. And when they get sick, we want them to be cared for like family. At Woodland West, pet care is personal. We care for your animals the same way we care for our own. As the most comprehensive facility in the Tulsa area for everything from diagnostics to treatment, you can trust that our team of compassionate veterinary experts are delivering the care your animal deserves. Your pet is always there for you. Let us be there to keep them in good health. Woodland West Animal Hospital.
There's a look at Caden Jones. If he was dressed up tonight, it'd be Batman. That's what he goes by on social media. 3 touchdowns on the night, close to 200 yards rushing. I've got him at, Craig Bowman has him at 11 carries, 188 yards. What a year, what a career.
Oh, come on.
Ooh. Nashua Charleston continues to apply the leather, man. Another big-time hit. This time, Jaden Macias is the beneficiary.
I don't know if he benefited, but he was the recipient.
That's a better description. Thank you. Better adjective.
He was the
sure.
recipient.
Most TDs in a season. Caleb Diller just passed Ty Walls, Dylan Stoner, Antoine Woods, Jordan Smallwood, Alonzo Adams, and Matt McCoy. All had 10 touchdowns in a season. He's now tied for 6th with 11 with Carson Epps, Smallwood, who did it his senior year in 2012, and Darren Haas, who did it way back in 1989.
There's some cats that can play on that list.
Yeah.
My gosh, what a list.
And it'll be a false start on Enid.
I mean, you're just thinking through that list. You're saying Kentucky, University of Oklahoma.
Right.
You know, lots of places. Oh, my goodness.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
That's offsides encroachment against the Trojans. I beg your pardon. Dodgers heading to the bottom of the 4th in Toronto, and the Dodgers have a 3-1 lead. Blue Jays, for those that don't follow baseball, Toronto could wrap it up in their home stadium tonight for the World Series. Running play, nowhere to go. Down goes Trevelyan Ortiz.
Just like you said earlier, McAnally, even if he's not the largest guy on the line, he is a disruptive force there in the middle, and he just brings the running back down. Well, tackle for a loss there. They gave him a nice spot. It had to be a tackle for a loss the way he got back there, in my opinion. They may be letting it run out. I'm sorry, Don.
No, I was just going to say, Luke, the younger brother of Jack McAnally, who played on this team, was a really good linebacker, injured his neck and did not get the finish this season. We missed him in that semifinal. But the McAnallys grew up in Utah and moved to Jenks, I think, when Luke was in the 5th grade. That's the end of the first half. Trojans all over Enid. It was 7-6 at one time. Now make it 51-6 as we head to intermission and a possible rolling clock here in the second half on Halloween. A lot of tricks and treats for Rob Labor downstairs to Adam.
All right, thanks very much, Don. As the Trojans take a 51-6 lead into halftime, just take me through the first half there, Coach. What'd you like? Were there anything you didn't like?
You know, offensive. I mean, either side really.
Wow.
Either side, really, we didn't come out and execute, right off the bat. I know we had the big play to Cade, and then, Katie's run, but we're still, missing blocks and just sloppy. And then on defense, giving up explosives. No excuse for it. I mean, it's like, broken record, at this point, and really disappointed in how we're playing, honestly.
Offensively, continuing the momentum that you've built over the last few games, though, with Landon Kazar looking like he's delivering some good balls and some running lanes again for Katie, like we've seen all season long. Those guys just seem to be rolling week after week.
Yeah, again, up front playing well. Again, missed a couple blocks though, and Landon missed a couple throws, and so they did make some good plays, but overall we're not playing very good.
And in a game like this in the second half, with a score lopsided, you're not really worried about winning the game, obviously. So what is your priority in a second half like this, other than staying healthy and just continuing to execute at a high level?
Play clean football. I mean, the penalties are again, it's more the same, unfortunately. It's just play the sloppy half of football. Just very disappointing. So come out. The goal is to play a clean half of football. Go out and execute. I mean, our kids are playing hard, but you got to mix. You got to match execution with effort. It can't just be one or the other. And so we've got to put those things together. Until we do, we're going to be a good football team. We won't be an elite football team.
Coach, appreciate the honesty. Thank you so much. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, thank you. Good stuff from Adam Gaylor, Rob Labor. Brought to you by Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma and the Trojans football. Also brought to you by Matt McCoy Insurance, who brings you the replays. During the season, Enid surprising us with some fireworks. Well, the Trojans have shown some fireworks, leading 51-6 at intermission, and will return in a moment from Enid on Trojan TV.
When pain slows you down, even the movements can feel out of reach. But you don't have to go through it alone. At Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma, we provide the results you want and the care you deserve. From diagnosis to recovery, our specialists offer advanced treatment and personalized care so you can heal and get back to what moves you. Because life keeps moving, and we'll keep you moving with it every step of the way. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
At Arvest Bank, we believe financial confidence should be within reach for everyone. That's why we're here to help you plan and achieve your goals at every step. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. From the first bite to the last bite, that bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, you have those three things together, and it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
It's more than just a rivalry. It's tradition. It's pride. It's Jenks versus Bixby. Win or lose, we know this game just means more. At Mabry Bank, we stand behind both Trojans and Spartans and the families and businesses that make each of these communities great. No matter what colors you wear tonight, we are proud to be your hometown bank. Mabry Bank. You matter at Mabry.
Come with us to the new Meteora location on 61st and Yale. If you haven't been to Meteora before, you are missing out. From the large portions to the great prices, this is really one of the best places to eat in Tulsa. Not to mention the incredible service you receive from each team member. So get to Meteora on 61st and Yale as soon as you can, and don't forget to try the churros.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
Make every occasion unforgettable with Waldo's Chicken and Beer. From corporate lunches to special events, enjoy our irresistible dishes, including breakfast. Waldo's full-service catering has you covered. We'll handle the food so you can focus on what matters. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, catering made easy.
Tonight on Bark Island, it's the ultimate adventure at the Woodland West Pet Resort. Newcomers enter the villa. Will they become best buds or playful rivals in doggy daycare? It's glam time. Pups dressed to impress with top-notch grooming. Who rocks the best makeover? Sweet dreams are made in our luxury suites. Owners can peek in live. It's party time. Our pups strut their stuff with fresh tricks to wow the crowd. Trusted, professional, and oh so fun. Join the pack. Woodland West Pet Resort.
Well, welcome to the Student Athlete Spotlight. Very excited to have a conversation today with another one of our great student athletes. I'm Eric Fox, an assistant principal at Jenks High School. Very glad to be joined by Addie Thompson. Addie, welcome.
Thank you.
Addie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Jenks?
I wrestle for Jenks Lady Trojan Wrestling. I'm also a member of AG, FFA, and
yeah, you're good. You're good.
I've been on the team for 7 years now.
Okay. You're a senior?
Can't quite remember. Yep.
Yep. And you are a Jenks lifer, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you said you've gone to a lot of different schools in Jenks.
Yeah. I went to East, and then Northwest, and then West Intermediate, and then the middle school, and now the high school.
All right. So you've covered the geography of the district. That's great. So, Addie, excited to talk to you about wrestling, and we know that the wrestling season's just getting ready to get started here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you also mentioned ag. You've taken some ag classes, vocational agriculture. So what are some of the classes you've taken in the ag program, and why did you take some of those?
So my brother was in ag, and he made it look really fun. So I joined too. I did intro to ag. I can't remember if I did it my sophomore year, but my junior year I did vet science. No, sophomore year I did vet science, and then junior year ag comms, and then now ag mechanics.
Okay. And you're saying you like the agriculture classes, especially like ag or vet science and ag mechanics, because you got to use your hands-on approach and stuff.
Yeah,
so what are
hands-on.
some of the things you did in vet science class?
In vet science, we learned how to do stitches. We learned how to properly insert a syringe and make sure that there's no air bubbles in it, because air embolisms and whatnot.
Okay. All right. And so what are you thinking you want to do after high school?
I want to go to college and wrestle. I don't have one picked out yet, but I know I want to go into orthodontics eventually. So also going for academics as well, not just wrestling.
Yeah, so you want to wrestle in college, and you want to work towards an orthodontic degree, and so you got a lot more school ahead of you. So that'll be something that you're really working hard at, and I think that also, to me, kind of represents your wrestling. So we'll move to wrestling and talk about that for a long time. Okay, tell us first of all how you got started in wrestling, because when you started, there wasn't a separate ladies program. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
So my brother had already wrestled, but I never looked at it and been like, I want to do that. It just wasn't something I was interested in. And then my friend wanted me to go to a practice, so I went, and everybody said that I would quit. So I just kept going, so I was like, I can't let them be right.
You got to prove them wrong,
going.
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you started in 7th grade in middle school.
Yes, sir.
And back then, there wasn't a separate division for ladies wrestling. But now Jenks has had a women's program for a couple years. Last year you were pretty successful. Tell us about the regional tournament and state tournament last year.
So coming into the regional tournament, I was a bit nervous because my season had been so up and down, just like mentally, because wrestling is also very mental. Like if you're not in a good mental place when you go on a match, it could be the worst match of your life, even if you're going against somebody you could normally beat. So I had issues with that previously, and then went to regionals and wrestled the best I had all season.
That's the right time to be peaking.
Yeah.
So you placed at regionals, which qualified you for the state tournament, and you won a match there, and now you're coming into your senior season. So what are you looking forward to? What are you trying to accomplish this year as you start your senior season?
I'm looking forward to proving myself as a wrestler, becoming more technical, not just like being stronger than my opponent. Working on my shots, making them look pretty, because in the past they haven't looked great. And then obviously placing on the state podium so that my name will be recognized in the state of Oklahoma.
That's great. And then go on and wrestle some in college as well. So that's great. And I'm really glad that we have a women's program so that you guys can compete. We've had female wrestlers in the past, but there wasn't a separate division, and sometimes they just go to open tournaments and that kind of thing. So it's great that you guys have expanded the sport and the opportunities. What do you think wrestling has taught you? You mentioned there's a huge mental aspect to it, but what do you think you benefited, or what do you think you've learned from your wrestling career?
I think dedication, holding myself accountable, especially when it comes to like weight cutting, which I've never done that like crazy. I've never cut crazy amounts of weight. It's just not something I want to do, because that's how you get burnt out. But obviously eating right, going to the gym when I need to, like just getting that extra work in instead of being at home. If you're at home and can lay in bed, you can go to the gym and get a few miles in. It's taught me a lot about who I am as a person as well, about like how mentally strong I am, not just physically. And like when you tell yourself you can't, that's your brain telling you can't, but your body can keep going. That's still that 20% left.
So just that discipline aspect and that, that work ethic, that resilience and that kind of thing. And, for people who don't know wrestling, the sport of wrestling has changed quite a bit, because like now at the beginning of the year, you have to do a certification test, and there's a safe weight that you can't go below throughout the season. And then there's a growth allowance that they give you in the second semester. And those are things that help athletes, manage the sport and stuff like that. But there's a lot of respect for wrestlers. I have a lot of respect for wrestlers as a former wrestling coach, and the self-discipline that you're talking about is pretty amazing. I think it'll serve you well. So are there any favorite classes or favorite teachers that you feel like you've had as you've gone through Jenks High School?
Definitely my junior year English teacher, Miss Shavney. I don't really like English, but she made the class really fun, and I have my friends in there as well. I've also liked the ag classes I've taken.
Yep.
I like all the teachers there. I have Mr. Tillinghast now, and he's pretty funny.
Yeah. So the Tillinghast are great, and Miss Shelton, and then of course shout out to Miss Shavney, great English teacher and stuff like that. So, Addie, we're really looking forward to your senior year. I know you got open, preseason tournaments coming up. You guys started October 1st on your regular practices, and then you'll start your duels and tournaments in December. So. We wish you all the best of luck as you approach your senior season, and hope you build on your state tournament appearance from last year. And just wanted to give an opportunity to shine a little student athlete spotlight on one of our wrestlers. And so thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Trojan family.
pounds of muscle, 1.4 body fat, 30 inches. Bring it on, Doug. Keep it going. Come on. That's what you would not do. I mean, beyond the swords. Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the direction of Coach Converter to the field to welcome our new cheer squad.
He's got 2 dads. He's showing beside me. His mom has a shirt. And it's like a Halloween shirt. It's just like 6 7.
I gave you like 10 vouchers.
Hey, I'm gonna change the batteries for. How's it going? High five. High five.
Nope, not mine. It's not mine. Get out of here.
Now in the direction of Coach Tucker and Coach Mercer, please welcome our Enid Plainsmen squad.
You are. Good boy.
Yeah. Hey, it's your story, by the way.
Alright, I'll roll it. I wonder what's for dinner though. If I had to guess something fried. Probably chicken. I heard it's interesting. Yeah, alright. Who said that? No. You got enough. You're not getting anything. That's mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, the senior class will be passing around buckets this evening during halftime as well as Project Graduation. Project Graduation is a substance-free event for our graduating class after graduation. Please consider supporting our seniors. Students will pass the bucket for Project Graduation.
Hey, watch out. All over my course. You got 2 minutes. You gotta smell it. Watch it off your sleeve. What'd you do? Spill it? You spilled the notch on your screen. What did you? On my screen? There you go. Nice.
You got a little drop on it.
What? How am I gonna drop on it if I've been over here the whole time?
Oh, shoot.
Alright, let's go ahead.
I gotta get back out there.
Yeah, hey, go get your cameras. Go get your spots. Go get your spots.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've lost at a key car and you've had to return into the press box, if you come to the press box,
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
Tonight on Bark Island, it's the ultimate adventure at the Woodland West Pet Resort. Newcomers enter the villa. Will they become best buds or playful rivals in doggy daycare? It's glam time. Pups dressed to impress with top-notch grooming. Who rocks the best makeover? Sweet dreams are made in our luxury suites. Owners can peek in live. It's party time. Our pups strut their stuff with fresh tricks to wow the crowd. Trusted, professional, and oh so fun. Join the pack. Woodland West Pet Resort.
Hey Trojans, get the only card that donates to Jenks Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $160,000 so far. Support the Trojans with your card today.
So the Trojans lead it 51-6. Excuse me. They've scored every time they've had the ball and then got a safety to boot. And it's been all Trojans, obviously. It was 7-6 at one time, 7-0 Jenks, and then Enid scored to make it 7-6. And we'll take a look at the stats brought to you by Good Sense Deli and Subs. Coach Fox, pretty productive first half.
Well, two key turnovers for the Trojans that they've been able to capitalize on has been a big thing tonight. And then, those 369 yards they've racked up. Interestingly enough, you look at the score, you're thinking must have really been shutting Enid down. And you heard Coach's frustration there. Yeah, Enid has 120 yards, a lot of those through the air. And then, too many penalties by the Trojans. That's something else Coach is talking about. So I think that's the first time that Rob Labor and Coach Gaylor, either one, have been interviewed during a fireworks show before. I was a little bit scared for you, Rob.
That's definitely going on the broadcast resume. That'll definitely be a chapter in the book when it's all said and done. So I think he was already a little bit testy about some of the sloppiness there in the first half, and I think those things going off didn't make him any happier.
No.
That's for sure. So, but again, to your point, right? It's not so much about this game, the outcome of this game, or the scoreboard, or how things are playing out, whether you win or you lose this game. It's more about looking to the future, and if you want to be an elite contending team and you want to end up beating the Bixbys of the world, then these are the kind of mistakes that are going to come back to bite you and hurt you that you can't have in a closer competitive game. So you would hope that over the course of this half and next week against Edmond North that some of this stuff could be tightened up and cleaned up for the Trojans.
Would imagine he'll get their attention come practice on Monday regarding this, and we'll see about next week. We got to get another half in, and again, the stats brought to you by Good Sense Deli and Subs. It makes good sense to discover the comfort of their fresh subs, baked pastas. They cater as well. Good Sense Deli and Subs. That sounds pretty good for tomorrow. Watching some football where OU plays tomorrow night against Tennessee at 6:30. Oklahoma State plays Kansas at 3 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN Plus, and TU is off. The OU Tennessee game on ABC.
Well, we've talked about, the first half, and we've talked about some offensive fireworks, but just for those people who missed it in Trojan TV land, that was at least a 5-minute, if not longer, fireworks show. That's definitely the best fireworks show in 6A football, no doubt about it. Very impressive tonight here at the Bruce Selby Stadium.
D. Bruce Selby, who was a teacher, then became a coach, then became an assistant superintendent here at Enid many years ago, and his son was a well-known surgeon and doctor, David Selby, here in the Enid community. Did a game here 50 years ago, Coach, this season. It's my first season in Ponca City, and came over to Enid, and that was when Enid obviously was pretty good. They had just, let's see, no, they had not. That was way before Lydell Carr, but they were still pretty good at that particular time.
Well, in the far corner, where I guess kind of the Palm Squad is in their costumes for the night.
Right.
That used to be the visitors' locker room, and I don't think it could have been smaller if it was a jail cell. And the Moore Lions were over there, and it was hot and humid. And even when we played here with Coach Lancaster, that was still the visiting locker room before they added on and had some much better facilities for both the home and the visiting side.
Here's Braxton Daniel. Remember, in the first half, he fell to the ground after catching it. This time, he's going to run it. Enid says it's a fumble, but no signal, so Jenks will take over. First down and 10 at the 47-yard line, leading 51-6. Let's see if he is. He's going to go back to the starters. You would think if he was happy with the way things were going, they wouldn't start the third quarter. But the way things went in that first half, even though you're ahead 51-6, again, it's just the mental mistakes. It's the penalties. Just not as clean a game as he wanted.
Well, a lot of the starters up front, guys, but no Kazar and no KD. They do have Q Butcher in there and Carricker at the tailback position.
Okay, thank you. Here's Malachi Dillard catching his first of the night, and to the first down marker he goes.
And I will say it is not uncommon. In fact, it's more common protocol to play your starters at least for the first series of the third quarter on both sides of the ball. So if anybody thinks, hey, Jenks trying to run it up or whatever, I mean, this is pretty standard practice, commonly understood by coaches. It's just kind of how things are done. So what I've noticed, though, these first two plays is as Butcher gets the ball on his drop back, he and Carricker seem to be a little bit out of sync about where Butcher's going to be throwing the ball, because Carricker has kind of been right there on the backside of him. And again, that's something they'll probably want to work on. But it's good to see Q get a couple quick completions here in this half.
Two quick passes to Malachi. Now he dials up long distance. He throws for Braxton Daniel, who has another long bomb touchdown. 40 yards out. What a pass. Dropped it in there.
Such a threat to get down field in a hurry. And I don't know if we'll see it on replay or not, but even with the defender trying to reach out and grab Braxton's jersey, you can kind of see it getting pulled away from him there. But Braxton making me look good for my player to bank on tonight, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Big Trojan TV director Mason Prince said, hey, man, I think you ought to think about Braxton this week. I said, Mason, that's a great idea. Look how smart Mason is.
Extra point on its way, and good. So 58-6. Early in a rolling clock here with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. By the way, Butcher, 3 for 3 out of the gate here tonight. 6 out of 7 on the season. That's his first varsity TD pass of the year. And for Daniel, 9 catches this year, 5 touchdowns.
All the guy does is make big plays. It's a great pick for a player to bank on. Seems like every time he has the ball in his hand, something electric is happening for this offense. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think last weekend we're coming off of National Tight End Day, right?
Yes.
Should really be a federal holiday. I'm sure Braxton Daniel would agree with that. But how about the ball by Q Butcher, guys? I mean, to come in cold, has not put the ball in the air a lot this year. In games where he's gotten in, has largely been reaching behind him and handing the ball off. But man, to drop a dime like that was something special, and his teammates were fired up for him as he came off the field.
Well, he goes 3 for 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Braxton Daniel just caught a 40-yard TD pass, and his yards per catch went down. He was averaging 42 yards a catch.
Wow, you catch a 40-yard touchdown pass and you hurt your average.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That is tough. By the way, Mason Prince, as we've told you, our producer of Trojan TV, our associate producer tonight is Eddie Prince. Big Daddy's in the house tonight.
He brought the boss man.
He did. Here's a first down. Nowhere to go. That ball on the ground. Klein picked it up, but they're going to call Sanders down. Line of scrimmage was the 22. They're going to mark it down at about the 18-yard line.
Odom in there. Orlando was in there. You've got Julian Tugwell in there right now. So some different guys scattered in with some other guys. You don't have Pierce Brand in right now. So they have sprinkled in. Got some new DBs.
Second down. 13. In trouble. And down he goes for a sack back near the 15-yard line.
You know, we talked about how our offensive and defensive line should really be physically taking advantage, and we see it happening right now, Rob.
Yeah, and a different quarterback into the game for Enid actually finished the first half, played that last series. That's Brunson Cross, listed as a freshman, guys, on the roster, as we saw Nehemiah Hernandez in there for most of the first half, but he took that shot from Malachi Dillard on the late out of bounds, was a little bit shaken up after that. Don't know if it has to do with that or if they're just trying to get Brunson Cross some reps and meaningful experience here.
Klein's coming on the blitz. Oh, and they run it past him, and Sanders gets up near the 20-yard line. It'll bring up fourth down and long.
Cade Hodges coming up to stop that play. You got Devin Whalen, had been hurt earlier. He's back. Got Jalen Friday that was out on that series at the cornerback position. So, again, using some different people.
And you're going to have Grant Cutter, who's been doing the kickoffs for the Trojans. He's actually back to return this punt. Another bad snap.
And out of bounds it goes for another safety. Wow.
Yeah, that one definitely had some zip on it. I think the earlier one kind of went high, lofty, and that one really zipped back there.
So that'll put 60 on the board for the Trojans and lead 60-6. Wow. The Trojans last week, of course, put 60 on the board, and that's the first time in 2.5 seasons that they'd scored 60 or more. We'll have to go back to the record books to find out the last time they've scored 60 or more in back-to-back games.
One other interesting kind of Jenks-Enid connection here, guys. If you look down by the scoreboard, they have a big sign that says Plainsmen Pros, and one of the names on that list and kind of the Enid Ring of Honor here, we'll call it, is Jerry Keeling. Jerry Keeling is the father of Terry Keeling, who happens to be the school board president at Jenks Public Schools. And Jerry Keeling also had a pretty amazing career in the Canadian Football League, is actually in the CFL Hall of Fame, and then went on to coach, I think, at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. But that Keeling name, one that we're very familiar with in Jenks, and they know well here in Enid as well.
Yeah, Mike Catterson, the Jenks trainer, was telling me he was coaching at Southwestern State when Mike was there. Last time the Trojans scored 60 or more in back-to-back games, I thought it was 2016, but you got to go back to 2015.
All the way back to a decade.
Yes.
Of course, Terry Keeling has a son, Brett Keeling, was a state championship. Did we just call timeout on the kickoff return there, Rob?
Somebody did. I think it was Jenks.
Yeah, we didn't have enough guys out there, but I was just saying, Brett.
They were having some trouble getting the right personnel on the field.
Yeah,
go ahead, Coach.
I was just saying, Brett Keeling had a very successful tennis career and state champion, and so. But yeah, the reason they're missing some guys is this is not their starting unit. This is the backup unit, and this is where coaches get frustrated. I guarantee you, at halftime, they're going over, okay, who's the number 2 punt team? Who's the number 2 kickoff return team? Who's the number 2 PAT team? So those are things that the starters go over pregame, and so at halftime, I'm sure the coaches did that with this group as well, so that there wouldn't be any personnel busts.
Number 35, who's not on the roster. There are several players not on the roster that Ed Enid gave us, but he kicks it off. Oh, and it bounces over 2 guys. But the Trojans do cover it. Braxton Talent, I believe, is the one that fell on it.
Braxton does a nice job at squirting around, and he secures it, gets down on the ground so nobody can strip it.
They'll mark it at the Enid 49-yard line. Yeah, that Ring of Honor is impressive. The players, I think there's a dozen that have played here at Enid that went on to the pros. Homer Payne is a name that comes to mind. Stan West. Boy, you got to go back to I think the 50s for West. He was a guard, became an All-American guard at OU. Here is Butcher, who can run. He's down to the 20-yard line. Q looking for his first varsity touchdown.
Just so explosive once he gets into open territory. Does that quarterback read. He pulls the ball, heads over to the right side of the line of scrimmage, and just goes on a rampage right there into the secondary.
Down to the 21-yard line after a gain of 26. He has Henderson in the backfield with him, Josiah Henderson. Instead, they'll throw and overthrown.
Interesting look right there. It's a pass play, and it's a quick pass play, but we're pulling the lineman around to make it look like a counter action there. So you got Zach McKenzie that's in there now. Still got some of the same linemen. Got Jaden Terrell in there. Bo Bright is in after being hurt for a few weeks.
Here's Henderson driving down inside the 15. He'll be close to the first down marker to make it 3rd and short. Another player on that Ring of Honor list, Jim Riley, who played at OU and then played for the Miami Dolphins, who was part of that undefeated 17-0 team in the early 70s. Jim Riley was an alcoholic, and after he retired, he really started a lot of the alcohol prevention programs, or at least going to the different football camps and talking about the dangers of alcohol. Here's a catch by Grant Lowe down to about the 8-yard line before he's wrestled down. That'll be good for a first down, though.
Good play by Grant right there just to secure the catch because he had somebody all over him coming at him high as soon as the ball gets there. Flowers in at H-back.
First and goal from the Enid 8-yard line. Also, Evan Newor is in the slot, number 81. Butcher to run it. Look at his power, down to about the 7-yard line, they'll say. Gain of 1.
Rob, we've talked about his quickness, but you did see him dragging the defenders forward there to get closer to the goal line.
Cooper Peters, number 10, into the game as a wide receiver on the right side. I think he's the youngest of 4 brothers that have played Jenks football. Q's looking for him. Can't find him. He's covered. So Q will run it. And he's into the end zone for his first varsity touchdown for Isaiah Q. Butcher.
Rob, what I liked what he did right there is it looked like he could have gone wide, but he saw his chance to get to the end zone, and he sticks his foot in the ground and he heads straight. Sometimes guys like to run to the edge, and pursuit comes from the inside, but he stuck it up inside there to get in the end zone.
Yeah, I think he was fully prepared to get physical, lower that shoulder, and bully his way into the end zone if needed. Didn't meet probably as much resistance as he thought he would, but I agree with you. Definitely did not take the path of least resistance there, and now he's got one on the ground and one through the air. So pretty good second half so far for Mr. Butcher.
Extra point is good with 50 seconds and the clock running left here in the third quarter. Cross country has a big day tomorrow.
Yeah, shout out to the boys and girls teams as they took off from the Oval today about noon to head to the state cross country meet. So good luck to them tomorrow. Coach Strayhorn, again, we've talked about his incredible feat this summer and what a great asset he is to the Trojan athletic family. But Brady Mason was a guy who did very well at regionals last week, so we'll have our eyes on him. But the entire team, boys and girls, got a shot to get up on the podium.
We'll take care of the third quarter here. They won't get the kickoff before the clock expires. So after 3 periods of play, 3 quarters here in Enid, it's Jenks 67, Enid 6 on Trojan TV.
Make every occasion unforgettable with Waldo's Chicken and Beer. From corporate lunches to special events, enjoy our irresistible dishes, including breakfast. Waldo's full-service catering has you covered. We'll handle the food so you can focus on what matters. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, catering made easy.
Hi, this is Matt McCoy, former Jenks Trojan. I'm a proud Trojan sponsor this fall. I'm excited for Coach Gaylor and the team. I'd love to help you with your insurance. Please give me a call for a free quote or come by my office at 81st and 129th.
Don King, Dr. Eric Fox, and Rob Labor with you. Trojan TV, presented by Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma and by Waldo's Chicken with 3 locations in Broken Arrow, Owasso, and at 71st and Yale. Enid calls for the fair catch, and we'll take it just inside the 40-yard line. Big night for K.D. Jones, 189 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Landon Kazar with a big night. He finishes with 169 yards passing and 3 touchdowns.
That's just 2 quarters for both of those guys.
Caleb Dillard with 2 touchdown catches. First and 10 from the 38. For Cross, who tosses it to Sanders. And not much going on there. In on the tackle, one of the guys, Zacchaeus Goodman.
Yeah, running some different guys in there, trying to get different guys in the game. You got Keegan Western, a sophomore defensive lineman that's coming into the game. J.J. Emmons is in the game.
Loss of a yard on the last play. Cross wanting to throw it. And he intercepted it. What a pick by the Trojans. I think that might have been a one-hand grab. Reaching in for the interception was Cam Clinton, the sophomore.
You talk about closing on the ball, Rob. I mean, that was an incredible job. First of all, you got great pursuit on the quarterback, having him throw the ball. And you think this is almost a throwaway, but man, he closes on it and then secures the catch on the sidelines. Can't be much room over there. That's incredible athleticism right there. Congrats to him.
Yeah, you mentioned it, just the ability to break on the ball, right, so quickly and to close that gap in such a short period of time. Just an outstanding play there by Cam Clinton. And again, guys, what's so cool in a game that's out of reach and out of hand at this point is to see the reaction of the teammates for these guys who are out here making plays who normally don't get that opportunity, and certainly making the most of those opportunities so far here in the second half.
Nice run down the middle for the Trojans. Number 22 is Jeremiah Cunningham. He is a senior.
New quarterback in the game.
That would be 16, I would assume. Yeah.
Maddox Young.
Maddox Young. They have called up 2 freshmen from the 9th grade class.
Yeah.
Colt Kalmus and Case Hodges' younger brother, Hunter.
Nor getting his catch. I believe that's his first varsity catch.
Yes.
But under duress as soon as he gets his hands on it.
So it's a 3rd down coming up. After the loss there. 3rd down and
4, maybe?
4. Nice pass there. Catch by Cutter. Grant Cutter to the end zone. Touchdown Trojans for the sophomore.
I tell you what, that's great. And before anybody wants to talk about running up the score, I mean, it's 3rd and 4. All you're running is a hitch route right there. Nothing fancy, no big scheme. You're using your third string quarterback. You get it out to a young guy right there who just turns outside, good technique. DB plays him inside, so he turns outside and runs to the end zone, gets gets a touchdown for the Trojans. Good for them. Nice to see that happen for those guys, and not in any way, shape, or form trying to run the score up at all. That's just a very non-complex, non-complicated play that's well executed by some guys who don't get a lot of varsity playing time. Kudos to them.
So a 38-yard play from Cooper Courtney to Grant Cutter. Mahan still in the extra point. It's now 74-6.
Rob, did I sound like I was apologizing too hard there? You're the communications guy.
We might go through a couple more drafts of that statement, but that's just standard operating procedure.
I thought they said the extra point was good.
Well, I think going back to the last touchdown, they didn't put the extra point up on the board, because if I'm keeping track here, after the safety, we had an even 60.
Right.
And then the touchdown should have been 67 and now 74. So I think the scoreboard might still be 1 point off.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, and Craig Bowman's got 76 on the stat sheet, so.
Oh, wow.
What a hit that was. Man, the Trojans are applying some leather here in the second half, and Cunningham comes down and lowers the boom. Jeremiah Cunningham.
I'm sorry, I think that was Henderson.
Henderson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was Henderson, number 82.
Okay, 82 instead of 22.
Henderson listed at 135 pounds, and honestly, I think that's pretty accurate. And the ball carrier there, man, he felt every single one of those 135 pounds.
And Henderson's
going
to take a seat.
Is that 22 or 82 now?
I think it was 82.
All right.
I think you're right.
Henderson hit him so hard, he's hurting.
Cross has some room to run. Oh, he didn't go up to the first down marker, I don't think. He had the first down marker, but didn't get to it. Again, the Trojans' 17th meeting between Enid. Enid won the first 3 meetings. 1988, they won here 19-0. 1989, they won at Jenks in overtime, 12-6. And then in 1991, Ron Lancaster was the head coach. Jenks was ranked 5th. Enid ranked 4th. Plainsmen won here in overtime 6-3 in the opening round of the playoffs.
You had Case Easter right there that was given good pursuit, but looked like the quarterback might have been able to pick up the first down, but you saw Easter come and stepped out a little early.
Cross is back here and floats it out of bounds, being 3rd and 2.
Talent coming, showing good discipline, getting his hands up, making it really difficult for the quarterback to throw over him. Also making sure the quarterback doesn't get outside of him. So pretty good technique right there, forcing an incomplete pass.
Trojan TV tonight with Mason Prince, our producer, Daniela Okori, Landon Turner, Famous Blevins, and Aiden Donahue assisting Mason tonight. Thanks to them for giving up their Halloween to come to Enid. 2-hour drive. And Eddie Prince, our associate producer tonight.
Don't forget the assistant.
Yes.
Miss Terry over there.
Yes.
Can't miss Miss Terry.
Third down and 2. Cross wrapped up, spun around. I believe that was 31 that had him wrapped up. Or was it Aiden Stevens?
I think it
Might have been Stevens. Must have been Stevens. Yeah. Man, there's not even a 31 in the 41. It's Clinton who had the interception a while ago. So now it's 4th down after a loss of about 4.
Stevens and Talent both doing a nice job back there with this series.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's blocked and out of bounds. I think 61. Got a piece of it.
Yeah, J.J. Emmons was the first guy to get back there it was a bad snap, and then Keegan Western able to get a part of that. I think J.J. may have actually kind of got his shoulder tweaked a little bit on that play, didn't he, Rob?
Yeah, just a little bit, guys. That punt went straight sideways. I've now had 2 firsts in my broadcasting career tonight. I've never been interrupted by fireworks during an interview, and I've also never successfully fielded a punt, but I got that one clean. I called it a fair catch, in case you're wondering.
At the Enid 23-yard line, and a running clock says 3:11 left. Trojans lead it 73-6. Here's our fourth quarterback in the game. And a handoff. This is Brett Gansars. It's a sophomore.
Handing off to senior Maurice Corey. We got to talk to Maurice before he got on the bus today.
Gain of 2. You know, those guys had to be itching knowing they were getting a chance. As I mentioned, the Trojans have called up 2 ninth graders here at the end of the season. They do that a lot once you get into the playoffs. Not that they're going to play, but just to give them kind of a feel for what the playoff atmosphere is all about. Colt Kalmus is one of them, and Case Hodges is the other. Look at this run. Inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. That's Corey again.
Corey kind of built like a defensive lineman, but he showed a little speed there. It looked like he was excited to see that end zone, wasn't he, Rob?
It's going to be first and.
Yeah, and I'm just imagining not a pleasant guy to tackle either. 5'10", 225. That is a load.
As I say, that was 225 in August. It is October 31st.
Tack on a couple more.
Yes.
Trojans are going to probably take a knee now, run out the clock. And that's what they will do. So that's good sportsmanship for Coach Gaylor. So the Trojans will run their record to 8-1, and Thursday night it's a home game on senior night against Edmond North before the playoffs. Round down some other scores for you as we move along here for the last seconds of the game. It was 15-15, right? Deer Creek and Bixby, but the Spartans went ahead 50-15 at halftime. So they're well on their way. Broken Arrow leading at Edmond Memorial 22-17 in the fourth quarter. Mustang at Norman, and it's all Broncos 40-15.
BA, interesting. It kind of sounds, there were some people that were thinking Edmond Memorial might beat the Tigers, so.
It still could.
Yep.
Owasso comfortably in front, 35-7 against Norman North. Looks like Owasso will win their district. Broken Arrow will finish second. It appears if they hang on to that win, they hang on to that lead and win it. Jenks is wrapped up second. Bixby's wrapped up first. And so those would be the 4 that you would think have the best chances of getting to the semifinals, but don't count out Mustang. They have been impressive either.
Yeah, that's not the team that you want to pull up on, you know. No. Dangerous quarterback, anything can happen, especially playing that time of the year. Got talented wide receiver, and, you know.
They would play Broken Arrow in the second round of the playoffs. Jenks would play the third place team in that other district, which looks as though right now it will be Union. So this one comes to a close, and a big win for the Trojans, who will increase that points per game. $460 points on on the season for this Jenks offense. And the visits with the head coach brought to you by Arvest Bank, longtime sponsor of Trojan football. 480 points ranks them 5th, just past the 2015 team that had 479. And they're just a field goal away from becoming the 3rd best offensive team in history. We go down to Rob.
All right, thanks very much, DK. Down here on the field with head coach Adam Gaylor. I know you weren't super satisfied at halftime, a little sloppy for your liking. What were your thoughts on the second half, especially the way some of the second and third team guys performed?
Yeah, brought some of our other guys in. They did a great job. I don't know how much Enid subbed. I know they subbed a few guys in, but they had a bunch of their starters in, and our guys came in and executed. Those second and third team guys came in and did an outstanding job. So super proud of the way those guys came in, and like we talked about, the standard's the standard regardless who's playing.
What does it mean to you as a staff and to the other guys to see those guys take advantage of their opportunity like that? They put in the time and practice and the conditioning, running scout team, all that, for them to be rewarded. How special is that?
Yeah, I mean, some of those guys are a snap away from being a starter, so it's good for those guys to get game reps there. And yeah, like you said, it takes everybody we got to get where we want to get to. So it's always good to be able to reward those guys, and happy those guys came in and did an outstanding job.
What's the overall message now as you head into the final week of the regular season, 1 game left before playoff time?
It's Jenks versus Jenks. I mean, irregardless of the opponent, whether it's Bixby or Enid or Edmond North or whoever, it's we've got to go out and play to a standard that's been set here for a long time, and if we don't do that, it's unacceptable. So at times in the first half we did. At times we were a little sloppy, and again, it's just the thing that really upset me was the undisciplined part. They're going to make plays. They practice. They got good players over there too. So we just got to clean up the undisciplined part of it. But super proud of those guys in the second half. And like I said, it's Jenks versus Jenks, and we're the only team that can beat us. So we got to make sure that we don't do that.
Sounds good, Coach. Appreciate the time as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right,
guys. We're here with Caleb Dillard as well. Our Waldo's Chicken Player of the Game, Caleb Dillard, for the second time this season. I believe I'm going to have the stats right here, Caleb. So I think it was 4 catches, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So getting it done on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Just take me through a little bit of offensively. You guys come into this game averaging 48 points per game. What is it about this offense, your quarterback, your running back, the offensive line? What is it about that side of the ball that is working so well over these last few weeks of the season?
It's all about our tempo. We're attack, going from the snap of the ball till we get down to the field and scoring. So that's what makes it really good. So
I know that Coach was maybe not quite satisfied with some of the sloppiness, a few of the penalties in the first half. What was his message to you guys, and what do you take away from a game like this?
His message coming in the half, is sloppy. We got to be more disciplined. We know they're a lesser opponent, but we can't take them lightly. We're focused on us, and we had to focus on us, and we came out the half executed. So
I see the level of excitement on the sidelines when those second and third team guys get in and they make the most of their opportunity. What does that mean to you to see those guys take advantage like that and some of them taste the end zone for the first time?
Oh, I love it. I love seeing my guys go out there and do what they do, because we got good guys behind us too, and they're the future of this Jenks Trojan offense and defense. So it was great seeing those guys score.
And lastly, just 11 receiving touchdowns on the year for you now. What is it about the connection that you have established with Landon Kazar, your chemistry and that relationship that's led to so much success?
Oh, it's been great through the spring, through the summer. We built that over and over, making sure that we're gonna have to make plays as a duo for the team. So coming into the season, we had that mindset, and we're accomplishing that for sure.
Caleb, congrats on a great night. Appreciate it very much, and congrats on being the Waldo's Chicken Player of the Game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. Back up to you.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Good job. And, of course, the Trojans win it here on Halloween. A lot of tricks in that bag of Tyler Chronisters to put up 70-plus points tonight.
Yeah, just so many weapons. And again, consistent quarterback play. Landon makes good decisions, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he's the one that gets things in motion. So great offensive performance continuing tonight. But like Coach said, the opponents from here on out,
right.
You're not playing Enid in the playoff run, right? So got to continue to make improvements week in, week out.
So the Trojans run their record to 8-1, 5-1 in district play and have wrapped up second place in the district and will close out the regular season next Thursday, 7 o'clock kick on senior night. And again, we will honor the 2000 state championship team, a 25-year look back at the 2000 state championship team that featured KD's dad, Kewan Jones, and many other great players. And we'll do that Thursday night. Hope you'll join us. And hope you enjoyed this one as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you on Halloween. For Mason Prince, our producer, and the rest of our Trojan TV crew, for Rob Labor and for Dr. Eric Fox, Don King, thanks for joining us. We'll see you Thursday night at Allen Trimble Stadium on Jenks Trojan TV.